thank you guys for joining us tonight. Really appreciate the time that you guys are given to us. But quickly wanted just to give you guys the floor to quickly introduce yourselves one by one. So if you guys want to kind of go down the list here and just tell us who you are and what you bring to the project.
Sure. So my name's Seth, and I'll just be really brief. I'm just helping out with the marketing, doing a little bit of advisory role. And I'm not sure if our fellow at the top, who I think many of you know, Chronicle, I'm not sure if he's going to pop on the mic or not, but he's here, and his reach is far and wide, and so he's handling the outreach for us. And I'll perhaps pass it to Zhi to say hello.
Hey, my name's Zhi from Hawaii. I am the COO for Naffles. I also help run Neo Tokyo News and do a lot of journalistic work in media work in the NFT land. And passing it over to Naffler.
Cool, thanks. Hey everyone, it's Jay here, or Naffler. I'm the founder and CEO of Naffles. Been building this or kind of concept since October of last year, so we've quite a bit of progress. I've from engineering background, over 25 years of just working in technology and engineering, so bring a lot to the project, and really excited about what we're building and all the partnerships and relationships that we're building, and a lot of that we do credit to our man Chronicle as well. And over to him if he's listening, wants to hop on.
Sorry, was there someone else? Was just want to make sure.
I think that was Chronicle, but maybe Chronicle's maybe just listening in. It's fun.
Yeah, he's the silent type for sure.
That's perfectly fine. Believe it or not, so am I. Just kidding. The first question I normally ask here is, can you give us a quick overview of the project? But your name, Naffler, brought up a question I wanted to ask first. What came first, the project name or your username?
Definitely the project name. I followed my username afterwards. It just kind of made sense. Originally, when I started off, my Discord name was Beautiful NFTs, which made it awkward when I got on calls because people just got really awkward calling me beautiful all the time. So that was one of the reasons why I switched it out to Naffler, and it fit strangely enough.
That's some reverse psychology shit right there. I love it. It's like just pick your username of something you want to be called, and to do the opposite of that, one of our leaders here is named Poopaloop, and we call him Poop all the time. So just imagine being called shit all day. So that's awesome. Well, thanks for humoring me with that question or that answer. Wanted to give you the floor just to give us a quick overview of what exactly the project is. Is this an NFT project, a PFP project, a tool? What are we looking at?
So look, Naffles was kind of built on the back of the whole meta last year, with everyone hopping onto whitelist and buying NFTs. We, as part of Neo Tokyo, a lot of us had access to huge whitelists, right? and get on there and see a lot of these NFTs start mooning. You'd follow it up and be like, oh yeah, look, I'm making profits, I should probably sell at some point. And by the time you decide to sell, you got all these undercutters starting to bring that price down, and you're like, oh, you're going to bounce, whatever, right? And you're like, by the end of it, prices keeps going down, and then you are, maybe I'll just, I'm in it for the art, or it's a long-term hold, right? You kind of tell yourself that, but kind of deep inside, you're dying a little bit as you realize you didn't take your profits when you should have. And so on the back of that, I started looking at models about how I realized a lot of these project NFTs, they value beyond just the floor price, right? Because these projects have been building for a while, or they've raised and going to be built. And I wanted to find a way extract to disconnect value of the NFT from floor price, and that's kind of where the concept came from. Is that the raffle allows you pretty much to do that just by setting the number of tickets and the ticket price, and you kind of just set that price, and if it's attractive enough, you'll get people to buy tickets to win it, right? So at its core, Naffles is an NFT raffle marketplace. The intent is that it will allow anyone to sell their NFT to use a raffle mechanism to do so. And and I guess one of the issues with raffles and these type of gambling things in Web 2 and just previous is the transparency and the verifiability. That's something that we look to solve very early on, and Chainlink VRF allows us to do that with the on-chain winner selection. So that was kind of the approach that we've taken very early on, was to enable people to run raffles using the NFTs in as efficient and verifiably fair way as possible.
Okay, so I come from a collectibles background, comic books, sports cards, Pokemon cards, all that kind of stuff. And when we had what we called waffles, raffles, whatever, very similar to this, you would do like a 10-spot raffle. You pay $50 and, the winner gets this box, the winner gets this card, and things like that. And they're fun. They're all over Facebook. They're all over Twitter. They're all over a lot of these social medias. But like you mentioned, there is not a centralized place for this to happen. There's not a verifiable way to do this. People get scammed all the time. The way the raffle mechanism works is they cheat it to have their friend win. I remember seeing one where someone raffled off their car, things like that. So can you kind of maybe explain the provability aspect of it first? Just as this is a trusted platform, can you maybe give us a little background on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, and a lot of that just kind of revolves around the functionality way in which it's designed, right? So, the intent is when you create a raffle, it makes that available to the community. Anyone who buys a raffle ticket is issued an NFT. And at the moment, we're doing everything on the ZSync L2, and that is just to minimize gas fees, because nobody wants to pay $50 in gas for a $5 ticket. And so once you've bought your ticket, you minted an NFT, and that NFT is your verifiable ticket to the actual raffle, right? Once all the tickets are sold, what happens is we call upon the Chainlink VRF function, which is the verifiable random feature. And that's all done on chain, so there'll be a transaction ID for how that was done. I won't go into the Chainlink because they're API calls, but it's fully verifiable on chain. A random data. So that's a third party thing, and we provide the transaction ID so you can go and see how that was done, which was selected. Once that's done and selected, we then just automate the transfer, so funds are then sent to the seller of the NFT or the raffler, and then Naffler, sorry, I should say, and then the NFT itself, the ownership's transferred to the winner. Everything, it's fairly simple, but it's all transparent and on chain, so it's all viewable there.
Understood. And I kind of want to talk about the platform a little bit as well. So how do we get access to this platform? Is it open for everybody? Is it a free to use platform, and maybe part of the proceeds go to you guys? How exactly does that work?
Can jump in on this one. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So Yeah, absolutely. So initially, we're starting off with a very small group of people that will have access. And even before that, just to go back to security, one of the things that we're extremely focused on, I mean, all of us have been in this space for a while, multiple communities, and we've all seen many people who have been taken by scams. So in addition to being verifiably fair on the chain, we're also, the reason that we haven't really opened up the platform at this point and started executing even alpha raffles, despite significant progress towards completion of the project, is that we are waiting to conduct third-party security audits to make sure that this is going to be watertight for everybody. But back to access. So initially, it is going to be exclusive access to holders of what's called our founders' keys. So we're running an initial mint, limited mint of 300, the funds of which will be used to progress some marketing initiatives that we're doing, but also to fund those third-party security audits. And then those individuals will be the ones that will be able to create the Naffles. And so that community that we're currently designing and selecting by application includes influencers, promoters, individuals who can help with the dev and security, some individuals who are able to help with some future language initiatives so we can have multi-language support, legals. So we're building a whole team, a strong team of 300. So those individuals have the first access to create their own customizable Naffles. And then there will be a secondary mint phase, which will have a much larger community. So it'll be gated only at first until we can establish a very large user base and we're executing Naffles with ease. And once we have that very large user base and we have a reward system in place, at that point, we will be looking at going public.
I think one of the key reasons as well for gating the community early on is ensure that quality of the raffles get listed is maintained. And if we'd opened it up to public straight away, we'd just get a flood of scams and NFT projects just popping up that have no value at all, right? So one of the key things that we've been doing, very deliberate about it, is establishing relationships with reputable projects such as yourselves and like List, Kaiju's, and those ones that we know will bring quality users into the platform early days.
The advantage of having a gated, community to be able to use this platform. When we say use the platform, that's just creating Naffles, right? Anyone's going to be able to access to buy tickets. And of course, the ratio of buyers, so ticket buyers, to NFT sellers is going to be obviously much heavier to the buyer side. We don't need a lot of people initially that are going to create Naffles, because once we're able to scale the buyers, it's going to become a rinse and repeat for those individuals who are able to create Naffles. It's going to be a profitable venture. So anyone who has access to the platform should be able to reap the benefits of fairly consistent profits. So while we do want to open it up eventually, there will be a fairly lengthy period where you will require one of our founders' keys to be able to utilize the platform and benefit from that. But I do want to just point out again, eventually, once we've scaled adequately, there will be a public phase, which hopefully everyone will be able to create Naffles.
Understood. One thing that I've seen criticism on the examples that I gave of raffles in like collecting communities is a lot of times they get shut down, or people will accuse them of quote unquote gambling. Do you guys consider this gambling? I'm curious to know. And if you do you think that that's something that's scalable overall in the Web3 space?
Yeah, absolutely. We've had this conversation with many communities that we've partnered with, and what we need to do is ensure that we've licensing and registrations to run these. We provide the software, but we for how it's used. Had those conversations with legal, and that's one of the things that we end on doing with this early mint is to provide efficient funds. So like I mentioned, we're going to be paying for security audits and a little bit of marketing, but significant amount of that money is also going to be going to licensing and registrations, enable us to run these types of events and provide that software.
I say it's also about the positive messaging too, right? I mean, there's obviously, if communities are going to be supporting us, they want to be careful about, the word gambling. So it's all about rolling in profits. That's going to be the message. So, responsible use case of it. So responsible gambling, ensuring that what you're putting in is something that you can do comfortably. And so we will be, encouraging rolling in profits, utilizing airdrops, utilizing project tokens, that sort of thing, to try and help people do that responsibly. But this is an opportunity for people for fairly low cost to at least have a chance to get into communities that they've been priced out of. So that's what we're really hoping for at least the people that are able to get some wins.
Yeah, Chronicle just stole my phrase right here in chat. I was literally about to say degen responsibly, right? Because when we say degen, that's what we're meaning, right? We're gambling in some type of way. So certainly didn't mean that in a negative sense. I just was curious what your all's thoughts are on it. So I appreciate that. Well, you guys have a mint coming up, right? If that's correct. Can you talk a little bit about the dynamics there and what's coming up for that?
Sure. So at this time, I mean, it's all been backdoor from community to community, because the reality is it's a small mint, only 300, and the people that we're looking for are the people who will really benefit from what the platform has to offer, and who can hold during this market. Right, this is a difficult market to hold on to anything. So we're really looking for people who understand the value of what we have to offer, but also people who have assets that they will be able to sell. So there's not much use in someone who's a new market entrant buying one of these NFTs. It's going to be valuable for someone who has either the funds to purchase NFTs to raffle, or has assets already on hand that they would like to move through a raffle, and also individuals who we hope will be part of contributors to the team and assisting with those areas that I already talked about, whether it's language or marketing or dev, security. So lots of things that we're considering in those applications. And the mint's going to be happening in a couple of weeks. We've been a little bit light on revealing a date, because we really don't want to set a mint for a particular day and have that be the ultimate red candle day that we mint on. So it is going to be in a couple of weeks. The exact date is still to be determined.
And is this going to be a whitelist, or is it going to be a not necessarily a whitelist because of the quantity of people you're trying to get, or rather quality of people you're trying to get?
Yeah, I mean, so no, it is going to be a totally allow list based, and right now it's entirely application based, and so we've provided allotments to various communities. Neo Tokyo, Doodles is up next. We've done Ape List, Kaiju. So all of these groups are getting a certain number, and they're submitting applications to us, and then we're going through all the applications and then handpicking those individuals. We're getting a lot of team members, a lot of founders, a lot of people with dev experience, a lot of YouTube creators, influencers, a lot of valuable asset holders.
I was just wondering.
Go ahead.
But yeah, I was just saying, that is for just like the next mint. But after that, obviously, we've got the main mint, and that's not going to be application based, and that'll be allow list as well.
Right on. So after the platform goes public, Silva here asked, after the platform goes public, will the Founders Pass have any utility?
Yeah, it's going to have lots. I really haven't explained that well. So, there's the initial 300. So those will be the highest tier. We have 4 tiers of passes. So everyone who does this initial phase of 300 is going to have the highest tier with the highest perks. And so those perks not only include exclusive access, but there's going to be platform fee discounts, because to list on this platform, there is going to be a fee associated with that. It is a fee that is only charged in the event your raffle is successful. And additional benefits, we've loosely put the term as an allocation. So there are some planned tokenomics for this project. but we're not ready to disclose exactly what that's going to entail. And there's also going to be a reward system during the Naffles that will be rewarding not only NFT holders, so not only the people who are listing Naffles, but also repeat users or repeat buyers of tickets in order to encourage user reuse. And I guess the big question is here, you said when it goes public. So is there going to be a use case? You're right, you will lose exclusivity of access. But that's quite a ways out. We're talking about onboarding a lot of people. And like, as I've already said, you can imagine that if we're able to provide enough buyers for you, this is going to be a rinse and repeat. So anyone who's a holder, this is going to be quite profitable for quite some time. And we very highly suspect that whatever mint price you pay or whatever price you pay on secondary is very quickly going to be recovered by executing even a single Naffle, because we expect that you'll be able to sell above floor price. You're going to be setting the price, right? So as long as it's within reason, if you set a price of 10, 15% above floor price, you've already made it back. So we'll anticipate that you will have made your mint price back over several times. But at the time when we do go public, we do expect that that's when your reward allocation will come into play. So there'll be a nice exit strategy at that point for your NFT.
And that we do also have other plans in works to add benefits once it goes public. Even things like affiliate commissions for people who are listing. If you've referred to them, and you have only founders key holders can earn affiliate commissions. And we've got other things on the roadmap to ensure that the holders continue to benefit from holding.
What would stop someone from, let's say I have I'm trying to think, a Bored Ape Yacht Club, right, that I'm raffling. I raffle it. It's selling above. I mean, I get above floor price of what I pay for it. I'm just going to go buy another floor ape, right? And then raffle that off. Do you think that there are people that could potentially benefit from this market like that, or do you think that that's probably not the greatest use for your all's tool, is for someone to create their own almost business of flipping into the bottom and then raffling off?
That's what it's for. I mean, people are going to make money like that, right? So we not only want people to benefit from like that, but there's the potential for communities to utilize this as a floor elevation technique, right? So it can benefit communities in that aspect as well. So there's no reason that isn't viable, as long as the number of raffles per project is being listed in a sustainable manner, so that we don't get buyer dilution.
Like when you look, there are companies all over the place, and people just running these raffles, right? And that's what they're doing. They're running the raffles themselves, promoting themselves, and they're making insane amounts of money doing it, keeping those profits back and buying new ones and rinse and repeating. All Naffles does is allows you as a user to do the same thing rather than the company.
Sorry, I lost you there at the end.
Sorry. I'm just saying. So, Naffles really just provides you as a user to do the same thing as those companies, so that we enable you to make the profits instead of just the company's influence.
Okay, I like that. In my head, I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to snag one of these founder passes so I can start my own little side hustle here of flipping raffles. But we had a good question here from Naruto, who asked, can you bundle multiple NFTs together in a package, or will it just be one NFT per raffle?
At launch, it'll just be one NFT, but we've got plans to allow NFT bundles. And even token bundles, so you can create pretty much anything that's on the blockchain. You can bundle it together, token prizes, things like that. But that's further down the roadmap for us to do. The product is single NFT first. Once we've got that working, is happy, then we start adding to that.
It's interesting that he brings it up, and I've been thinking, lately there's a significant number of people in the space that believe that the next meta may be inexpensive, NFTs for gaming and what have you, very inexpensive, but that you'll be buying in quantity. So certainly something to keep an eye on as we go forward, to have that functionality available if that does indeed become the next meta.
For sure. I guess one question, and it looks like Shaggy is submitting a question here as well. But one question I had here is this platform already built right now, or is this something that you guys are still working on building? I'm curious to know when the launch of the platform actually takes place.
So, look, I mean, the significant portion of it has been built. The was to build something before we went out and asked for money, and you can see that a lot of that functionality is already integrated. If you look at the teaser videos that we've put on, and the key thing for us, as Seth said earlier, is to ensure that it's secure for everyone, and security audits is one key part of our roadmap, and that's why we're doing this small raise. It's just funding pay for these external costs, because up until now we've just kind of bootstrapped the entire thing. We've got very dedicated team members, but when it comes to security audits and rules and licensing and registration, that's when you've got to spend real money outside with third parties to do so. Look, we're not far off from launching, but we want to make sure everything's done right. Where our target time frame is towards the end of this year to start running those initial raffles. Depending on how well the security audits and everything goes.
Got it. We got another question here from our current reigning MVP here at MBHQ. He says, Mr. Shaggy, rather, says, it seems the value is in driving the buyers to your own Naffle. Are you going to allow essentially private label Naffles, or are the Naffles driving buyers to the platform where they can look at everyone else's Naffles?
So, we've had those discussions with some groups. They want to use the service internally. So that is a feature that we would look to introduce later on the roadmap. But the intent initially is that one of the reasons why we're doing these partner collaborations, with MVHQ, you guys would run your own raffles. You would bring your communities in to buy your NFTs. And then, as a benefit to the platform, while they're there, they would then browse all the other Naffles that we've got running. So each project brings in their community, and that combines to provide that buyer community that we're looking to build very early on, that engaged community. But as a private service, it's definitely something that easy that is to integrate. You may may want to run an exclusive raffle just for your community, and then you just put that behind a gated link.
Understood. Well, I've run out of the questions that I wanted to ask, and it seems like we kind of have a full understanding of the platform, and we've gotten a few questions from people listening. By the way, if you're still listening, or rather, if you're listening and you still have questions, please let us know. But I wanted to make sure I have kind of given you guys enough time to speak your mind, speak your piece about what you're excited about with the platform, features that maybe we haven't discussed or anything like that. I wanted to make sure I still give you guys some time to bring that up. So is there anything that maybe you guys wanted to talk about that you're excited about, or rather that we haven't discussed yet?
I just wanted to bring up one thing. So, as you mentioned, as Jay mentioned, we came here with the product, not just an idea. So it is nearing completion. And at this time, everyone that's here or is hearing this is still extremely early for this platform. You're one of approximately 15 groups, maybe 20 groups that we're approaching to get a good distribution of quality holders, that initial 300 people. We haven't even started trying to build any sort of external hype, trying to collect people who will be future ticket buyers. That's all going to come down the road. We're working behind the scenes with partnerships with ZK Sync and looking at some potential wallet integrations and other means for, fiat on-ramping, that sort of thing, to make it as easy as possible for buyers. But right now, the entire focus is you guys, backdoor entries for people who are familiar with the space. So everyone here is obviously, still extremely early. We haven't even begun the larger marketing campaign to attract those people that may be interested in buying the tickets.
One other thing earlier from a technical perspective, running the raffle, didn't sort of touch on earlier. So when you create a raffle, and if all the tickets are sold, then it's executed automatically. Now, in the event that all the tickets are not sold, then the person creating the raffle has a couple of options. They can either cancel the option if they're not happy. At that point, the NFT is just unlocked, and they get that back. And anyone who's bought a ticket is just refunded. So it's a no risk really for them to list the raffle. The alternative options is if they can extend until the tickets are sold out. Or if they've made enough sales, then they can just accept it as it is, take the profits, and the raffle it automatically as normal.
Got it. And is there a potential that, let's say that I went ahead and bought a ticket, I spent 0.2 ETH on a ticket for this raffle, and it gets extended, and I'm like, well, hold on, I don't want to wait that long with my liquidity I have here. Is it a potential for someone to continue to extend it and continue to wrap in that person's liquidity, or would they be able to break out if eventually?
Look, I mean, at the end of the day, when you've bought a ticket, it's not really liquidity, right? You've can gamble. When you buy a ticket, you either win something or you don't. So we can look at. We probably wouldn't allow someone to extend indefinitely, but we'd put a reasonable time frame on it. I guess a base raffle might run for a few days to a week or so. We may allow them to extend it once or twice. If that doesn't happen, then we could just automatically use the raffle and refund everybody. And it's interesting that you kind of raised that ticket issue as well. We've been looking at use cases for engagement, and because you bought a ticket and you haven't won, we don't want all these NFT tickets to be just throwaway NFTs. And one of the things that we're looking at is to allow people who've bought a bunch of tickets to actually earn them and get benefits from them. Things like free entry to any Naffle that you choose. These free entry tickets, hop on the platform, choose if we've got Bored Ape Yacht Club raffles running, and there's enough free ticket allocations on there, then you can pretty much jump on and throw your free ticket in there and potentially win one cost. So there's a lot of things like that we're looking at to ensure that users continue to be engaged and aren't just sort of buying one throwaway ticket.
And remember that those tickets are on layer 2 ZK Sync, so doing that kind of thing will not cost you only payments and gas. So don't be too worried about the gas fees.
Understood. Now, one thing, like for example, when I create a liquidity pool range on Uniswap, right? They mint me an NFT that has all my range on it, right? And I can trade it in to get out of the liquidity pool, get back in the liquidity pool. Every time that I create a new range, they give me a new NFT, right? So at a certain point in time, I have maybe like 40. I still have 40 of these liquidity pool range NFTs. they're obviously in my hidden folder now because I don't use them. But is that something that we'll have to worry about potentially? Is as we get these tickets and they're minted as NFTs, are we gonna have a kind of a stack of hidden folder tickets that we'll have to worry about, or do they, once the raffle's over, do they get burned? Is there any kind of thought towards that?
Yep. Sorry. Yeah. So I probably wasn't clear earlier when I was saying that. So yeah, say you bought 40 tickets to 40 different raffles. Rather than putting them in your hidden folder, we want to have a way that you can convert these tickets, these non-winning tickets, to free tickets you can then just use. So yeah, effectively you can burn based on the value of each of the tickets that you've purchased. You can convert them into a free entry to basically any raffle. So you can convert your 40 tickets into, say, free entries. At which point, those 40 tickets are burnt. They're gone from your wallet, and they're replaced with new entry NFTs. And when you use them, they're burnt as well.
Got it. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Sorry for not catching that the first time, but thank you for that explanation, or re-explanation rather. Well, awesome. Again, that's all the questions I have. I want to respect your all's time, and I really appreciate the answers. But I want to just quickly give you guys the floor to kind of close things out, kind of give us a quick little last-minute elevator speech.
I think I've been listening along. Just wanted to share some with this. I'd say the NFT space in general is in need of a new meta, need of a new boost for the excitement level. I think a lot of us got into NFTs. Everything was pretty exciting. The bull run, there was a feeling like of great opportunity that NFTs provided for people who, the thought of this kind of riches falling on our plate was unfathomable until people got into NFTs. And I think that's kind of faded quite a bit in these past months. I really believe that what we're doing has the potential to revitalize this in a really strong and exciting way, in a fun way, in a way that's like gamified, to give everybody that opportunity to win a mutant ape or a bored ape or any of these potentially life-changing assets, and our platform is going to do so in a very fair, very easy to use, and in a way that really builds community, joins communities together, and provides great opportunity. So I think it's going to be something that's going to be quite exciting. Can't wait till we can get these Naffles going. And I just wanted to share that concept and perspective.
I love that. Nothing gets me more excited than the promise of community and people bonding and things like that. And so I love that. Can I ask a quick follow-up question to that? If you had to choose an NFT of yours right now that you would have to that you could naffle off, what would it be?
For me personally,
yeah,
I would probably naffle off one of the Neo Tokyo assets, one of my S2s. That would probably be the first thing I'll go for.
Right on. One of those Neo Tokyo fanatics. Love it.
I'll tell you which one I want to buy a ticket for. I'm trying to find someone who will list a Kevin. Put someone list a Kevin. I'll put a ticket in for one of those for sure.
I could always go for more Kaiju Kings. I'd put a ticket in for that for sure. Well, gentlemen, again, I've had a great conversation with you guys. I'm really, really excited about this. This gives me a new way to, get excited about buying and selling NFTs in a sense, and kind of letting the RNG gods take over. So really, really exciting stuff. So I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. Everyone that's kind of tuned in here, everyone that's listened later on to the recording, thank you guys. But yeah, if that's if there's nothing else, I just wanted to say thanks.
No, thank you for hosting us today. I just wanted to check that the application forms provided to you guys, and your communities had the access to apply for these omnis. We're going to be minting shortly.
Yeah, Johnny might know more. He might be on the thread where that form is shared. I haven't seen it, but I also don't get notifications sometimes. So I'm sure we'll have that taken care of and make sure that everyone is aware of where those applications can be found.
Thank you for hosting us, and in times to come.